issuing badges from 2013. So quite a long time. And this was our working title when we decided that we need to make working life skills visible. And it was a shared project. And we did it this year. And we had Accent to Finland, 4-H, Guides and Scouts of Finland, and Finnish Red Cross as members in this project. And we finished this project a month ago, and you can see the results here today. Of course, we had many more other organizations who gave us feedback on our badges. We had many organizations for the working life. We have many companies who gave us very important feedback on our badges. And here are a couple of our aims. We wanted to recognize and validate different working life skills that can be attained in NGOs activities. So we all knew that NGOs, they produce a lot of skills and competencies to working life, but we wanted to make this visible. We wanted to promote these skills. And our main target group was young people and immigrants, and we wanted to give them new possibilities to display their skills. We didn't want to give them certificates, we wanted to give them open badges so that they could share their skills with their future employees or employers, I meant, yes. And we wanted to facilitate employment. We knew that in our target group, the young people and immigrants have many challenges in employment, and we thought that these badges would help them get a job more easily. And we wanted to build a shareable family of badges. We didn't want to build a badge family for ourselves. We wanted to build a badge family that we can share so that many organizations can use the same badge family. So it isn't our badge family, it's a badge family for everyone. It's a badge family for you, for anyone who wants to use these badges. And we decided that 8 badges would be a good thing, but we didn't came up with that just like that. I have some background for these total 8 badges. We started out from the background and the frame of reference. As I said, we didn't want just to make up these skills and competencies. And I'm sorry, some of these texts are in Finnish. I couldn't find any English version of this, but I will tell you what's in here. The main thing is that we didn't want to just come up with these skills. We wanted some kind of background, some kind of frame of reference, some kind of connections to link these badges to the needs in Finnish working life. And by coincidence, the Finnish National Agency for Education, they published an article about what kind of skills does Finnish working life need in 2035. So it was a very good coincidence. We went through a lot of materials, and then we found this and we thought that, oh great, now we have some kind of frame of reference that we can say that that's why we build these kind of badges. And in that publication, we can find top 10 of generic skills which are needed in Finnish working life. They include things like creativity, multicultural skills, knowing entities, ethical thinking, self-guidance, and things like that. And we thought that, yes, this is the thing we want to do. So this was our background and frame of reference. And then we started to build the batch family. And it was a long journey. We did it for half a year this spring, and we had many online meetings, we had workshops, we did some demonstrations, had some feedback visits to different companies where we represented our batch family. And this is what we came up with. Here you can see we have total 8 skills, and we thought that it would be better to present these skills if we could find some headlines to different skills. And we decided that we have 4 skills which represent life and career skills. These include organizing skills, ability to work independently, multicultural skill, and ability to work together. So these are the four batches for life and career skills. Then we thought that learning and innovation skills, they would benefit for their own batches, and there is creativity and ability to learn. So here is 6 batches, and the last 2 of this family include digital skills. So digital skill and communication skills, and they link to technology skills. And these 8 competencies, these 8 skills, they combine to build our batch family. And we decided that we wanted to use this, is it a hectogram? It has 6 ankles because we can make different kind of constitutions using it, different kind of entities, and they look like bees' nest. So we wanted to make them visually clear, that people would see the whole entity, and also that they can see where is my badge, and I already have this badge, I would want this badge also. So there was this visual thinking behind these badges. So this is what we came up with, and we had feedback from companies, and they said that these are the skills we need, and when we are hiring people, these are the skills that we are looking for. And that gave us the good feedback on the thing that these are really needed badges. But then we had to think about what can NGOs do in their activities that people can gain these skills. And that was a long conversation. We started to think about what happens in Finnish Red Cross, and what happens in 4-H, and what happens in Guides and Scouts of Finland, that you can gain these kind of skills in their activities. And then we decided that we wanted to keep them as low as possible, not high skills. We wanted to make sure that these skills are that kind of basic skills. Yes, these are basic skills, not advanced skills. And we thought about that maybe you have organized an event in your NGO, or maybe you have organized some volunteer activities and things like that. Or maybe you have been working as an instructor in a group, or things like that. We started to think about what kind of activities do NGOs have that you can gain these kinds of skills, because that was very important. We used these questions in our application form, for example. And we had many roles in our projects and many responsibilities, and here is the entity of our roles. The Accenture Finland was our facilitator, so they drew us many interesting forms, and they tried to visualize all this, and they held workshops and meetings etc. Our duty, our role was to be the project leader, but we also created the batches in Open Batch Factory. That was my job. So I created all the 8 batches to Open Batch Factory, and this is a good role. We also worked as a batch sharer. I'm not sure it's the linker. It's not a good role, but I meant that these batches were built in our Open Batch Factory, but we didn't want them just to stay in our factory. So we shared these batches to different organizations. And today, a total of 6 organizations have our badges. So I have shared them from our factory. I have linked those badges to different organizations' factories. And the reason why I have linked those badges is that we want to still develop them. They are ready, but if something new comes up, I want to update them. And that's why I didn't share them as a copy. I shared them as a link, so I can update the badges, and all the updated information will be shared in those badges in other organizations' factories. So that's how the roles formed out to be. But Sivis, we were the creator, but we are not the issuer. we are not even the reviewer, because we thought that we don't have the we are not the right organization to review the applications, to review the skills and competencies. The NGOs that work with the volunteers, they are the best ones to evaluate is the learning done. So the NGO, they were the application reviewers, and they were also the badge issuers. And now when you have the badge, it says that Sivis Study Centre is the creator, and the NGO, for example, the Finnish Red Cross, is the issuer. So we have both. We have both organizations mentioned in our badges. Then I love the Open Batch Factory's possibility to enhance both batches and both recipients. So we used this a lot. All the project partners from our work, we enhanced the badge. So the badge has 4 enhancements. It has enhancement from Finnish Red Cross, 4-H, Guides and Scouts of Finland, and Accent to Finland. So all these 4 organizations enhance the badge, and also Sivis Study Centre, yes. And then we wanted to use the possibility to enhance the recipient. And our NGOs, they decided that whenever they issue a badge, they will also make sure that each recipient is a difficult word for me, recipient gets an enhancement from somebody. And I think that was a very good idea. It works like in LinkedIn. You can enhance in LinkedIn when you think that somebody really is a good at something. And now we can do the same with open badges. And the feedback we have got from this is very good. People really like it because the enhancement is very visible in the badge, and it makes the badge more meaningful for me. And the recipient was volunteer, also the displayer is volunteer, and we also thought about who is the badge viewer, who is the person that opens the badge, who looks at the things that we have written down in the badge, and we thought that this is probably the future employer. So many different roles in our badges. And here is the visualized form of our badges. And I'm sorry, these are in Finnish. I can't get them in English, but I have one example. For example, the organizing skills, in Finland's organisointitaidot. Yes, and these are the eight skills that I just showed you. And you can see that they're all formed like hexagrams, and they have all the same background color, and they all have some kind of red symbols in the middle of them. And organization skills, we wrote down that the holder of this badge can control entities, and it requires an ability to work independently and plan your own timetables so that the objective is achieved in deadline. So yes, a basic skill, but not so easy to get. And then we have to think about that, what can people do in NGOs to gain these kinds of skills? And we had the application form where they wrote down what they have done, and they demonstrated their skills in that application form. And here is the organization skills badge. And again, it's in Finnish, but I will tell you what it contains. We have these skill areas. We had 3 skill areas in this badge. There is things like you can plan your working methods. You can use timetables and plan your own timetables, and you can coordinate and delegate things. So these were our main skill areas we wanted to use. Then we wrote down what do we need in skill demonstration and what kind of things you can do there. And we wrote down that we have the application form, which works as an evidence in this badge. So when the employer opens this badge, he or she can see that there is evidence, and then the application form will open, and they can read down. They can read what have we written down. And then the newest thing, we use the ESCO alignment. Firstly, we use it differently, but from last week, the ESCO integration made it possible to use ESCOs as an alignment. So we have a couple of ESCO alignments also in our badges. So this is a new thing for us. And here, now we are in Open Badge Passport. Again, you can see our badge. And you can see all the alignments, all the ESCO alignments, which are there, so that people can tell about their skills using ESCO language. And then we have these endorsements, which I already said that are very important for us. So we have these endorsements for this badge, and we also have endorsements for the badge owner. So we have both of them. But these are our badges, so total 8 of them, and all of them linked to skills and competencies in Finland 2035. And the idea is that anyone can use them. They are in our factory, but they are shareable. I can share them as a link to anyone who is interested. Of course, they are in Finnish, so I'm not, we are not, currently, we don't have any other language options, so only Finnish, but the idea is the same. So they are there, and I can share them to different organizations, and different organizations can issue them to their volunteers or their students or whoever needs these kinds of skills. And I also wanted to describe to you the process on how we did this. And I think that the most important thing is that we just didn't come up with these skills. And we wanted to use some kind of frame of reference. And the frame of reference was the Skills and Competencies in Finland 2035. So I think that the badges are more valuable when they have some kind of frame of reference, that they are not just they don't come up from our head. They are based on something. But I can see that there is a lot of questions in the chat, or something is happening in the chat. Yes?
Yes, Phipps was on it.
There were questions, yes.
Vanessa was on it.
Yes. Do you have any questions for me?
Alison Priestley, Brenda.
Yes, and Alan Crawford at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I went and presented to them once, but I haven't heard anything about the meeting ever since.
Okay, I tried to unmute everyone, but it seems that it doesn't work. But anyone who wishes to ask questions, please write that in chat and I will unmute you. I'll hand it to Eric first. You had some comments there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I had two questions. One was about the co-creation of badges. So how easy, how difficult the process was, and would you need some better tools, the process of designing these badges together? And the other question was, would you need also some improvement in Open Badge Factory for sharing the badges with others?
Okay. We use a lot of meta badges, and in meta badges you can see in Open Badge Passport, you can see that which badges are linked to different meta badges, and that was the thing I thought that would be great in all of the badges, because if we create a badge family, it would be a good thing to see the whole entity because now we struggled with it, that we have the organization skills and somebody gets a badge which says that you are good in organizing, but there is no information on what other badges are included in this family because we don't have a meta badge.
Yeah.
And I really like the possibility because I just look at the Open Badge Passport and there is, I can see in meta badges that these are the badges that are needed to gain a meta badge. And I think that's the similar thing would be a really good thing in badge families, that there would be some kind of tool where you can see what are the other badges linked to this badge, because I don't want to make a meta badge. I really didn't know what kind of meta badge would be a good thing for these badges. Would it be a working life master? I couldn't come up with a good meta badge, but yes, some sort of tool that you can visualize what are the other badges in this family. Did I make any sense, Eric?
Yes, I understand what you mean. So it could be a way to display your badge system in a public place. Yeah? I was thinking about I mean, you are doing a very great job, because you are doing what I could say kind of public domain badges. You are designing badges for the communities, for the people. so you are ready to share badges. I think that something I have in mind is we could design in Open Badge Factory kind of, I would say, project areas or kind of sharing area where people could basically push their badges to be shared with others, so that the people would know where to go to find the public badges. So now you have to basically know that contact Lotta, and Lotta will basically share badges with you. But I think in the future we could have this kind of repositories where people can push the badges that they want to offer to others. Yeah,
that's true. I agree with that. Yes, it would be a good thing, because now we have marketed this in our own field, but it's quite difficult. So that would help. Yes.
great.
But I wanted to, what I meant earlier about that I wanted this badge family to be more visible. I thought it would be a really, really good thing that if you have all of these, that you can, if you have one, you would get information on what are the other ones and how I would get them, because now the information is in our web page. And even if we get the organizations, the NGOs, to use this family, the people they issue this badge, the recipients, they are not familiar with the whole family. They just think that these organization skills, this is the only only badge there is. They don't even know that there are 7 other badges that I can get. So this information would be really valuable if it could be somewhere to be seen for the recipient, that there is a lot more to be done.
Thank you very much. I have one other question. Just writing the chat. So you are sharing your badges with your, basically with the members of your ecosystem, of your network. But in Open Badge Factory, you can't at the moment yet share badge applications. I guess that it would be a good thing. So how do they basically issue the badges that you are sharing with them? Have you any clue about that?
Yes, and I want to say that that would be a really good thing. They have hoped this option so that we could also share the badge application with the badge. We have a template for application form, which we have worked on together. Where in this template you can find all the main things that we think that would be a good questions for the badge application form. And then every NGO, they can decide on what kind of examples they write down in the application form. So we have the template. For example, we can ask, what have you done? Let me see, I had some examples, but they're also in Finnish, so they're not useful here. But yes, we can ask that what have you done in your NGO to gain organization skills? And then there is this text form, and you can write down your answer. But we realized that these questions, they can be a little bit too abstract. So every NGO, they can add to their own application form some sort of examples from their own NGO, so that people who write down their skills and competencies in application form, it's easier because you have some examples. But we have the template, and we share the template. It's in Microsoft Word template, but we have the template, and then everyone is responsible for creating an application form in their own factory. Yes. but some sort of, you can have form templates in factory, so it would be a good thing that you could share the form, a template, some sort of template, so everyone doesn't have to start from the beginning, because it's not easy to build an application form. It takes time. How do you deal with the question of identity? In this project, and the NGOs that were a part of this project, we piloted these badges in a way that we made sure that the people who review the skills know the person who is writing down the application form. So we didn't want to open it for everyone. We piloted in a way that they were acquaintances, they knew each other, and that way we could make sure that the skills and competencies were really there. But the identity, can you?
My question was more about the fact that usually organizations, when they design badges for my needs, organization loves to have a strong branding. So I make badges for Open Badge Factory, I make badges for my organization with my own graphic designer, doing something which is can be recognized on the market. But then when you share a badge as a link, basically the organization which will get your badge will not have the possibility to change the picture. So they will have to use your picture. What kind of strategy do you have to design badges which can be in fact, or that can be in fact used by different kind of organizations?
We didn't have a problem with that, because everyone agreed that we chose the pictures together, and there was a questions about how do I say this? Because it's not possible to change any of the texts. They are all the same. So there were questions on how to write down the badge, what this means in Finnish Red Cross, or what this badge means in Guides and Scouts of Finland. But then we decided that we can add this information when we issue the badge, because when you issue the badge, you can make additions to the criteria. You cannot change the criteria, but you can make addition to the criteria. So we thought that that would be a good thing, and they used it. That we have the same, everyone has the same criteria, but when we issue the badge, there is a possibility to add your own text to the criteria. So 4H added their own, Guides and Scouts added their own, and etc.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then the other question, let me read it. Eden, could you tell me a little more about your question? I'm not sure I understand it correctly.
Yeah, of course. Nice to meet you. Thank you for that explanation, for that presentation. I was comparing how dynamic with what you was introducing to us, and I was wondering myself if you do have around you in your territory other open badges creation dynamics, other ecosystem that you could match to your own ecosystem, and that could be how can I tell that, like an actual integration inside your pathways. I explained myself to be like a meta badge composed with your badges and some other badges from another partner or something like that. Do you have these dynamics on your territory, and do you project that to make like a fusion, or to sometimes make a link between your ecosystem and another one that could be on your territory inside the platform Open Badge Factory?
We have some. We have many national badge families in Finland for different target groups. For example, for teachers in vocational schools, we have a badge family for them, and there is a link from that ecosystem to our badges. We have one badge which is a part of another ecosystem, but there are still technically there are two separate things, but but they are described as a one ecosystem, but technically they are two different. I'm not sure I understood your question correctly, but we have these kind of things. Maybe Eric, do you have a better answer?
I think you did. Thank you. I think you did. But
okay.
Is it a choice? Is it a choice that technically they are separate, or is it because the technique doesn't allow you to do different now?
In my opinion, it doesn't. It's not possible technically. But do you have an answer, Eric?
Well, it's something we're working on. I mean, with making, as I said, making easier, first of all, for Open Badge Factory users to find badges that they could use in their systems. So I think it's a first requirement for having this kind of organic, I would say, organic ecosystem, so that you could pick different kind of badges. I think from a technical point of view, for the moment, I am not 100% sure because I didn't test it just a few time ago. But I think that you have the possibility to create better badges using badges which are in different user accounts. It's working. Now in the future, we will be also working on the solution to integrate also badges which are not even done in Open Badge Factory. So it will be the next step that you could have badges with issued by different platforms and integrated in a way that you could build your basically badge systems or ecosystem using these badges. But we have still some work to do with this question. I hope I answer, Eden, to your question.
And I just wanted to add one important thing, because we are talking about here we are talking about skills you need in working life. So the endorsement, I think it's a very important thing, and it's a very good thing. The fact that you can get someone's review on what you really can do, a personal review, I think it's a very good thing, because some people have been concerned about whether these badges really tell about your skills, or have you just received this badge and no one has reviewed your skills. Some people are concerned about things like that some organizations just give out these badges without reviewing, without evaluating if the learner has the skills. I'm not so concerned about that, but some people are. So I think that these endorsements, they're a really good thing, because now you get someone's endorsement in your badge which says that this person really has the skills. There's no question about it, and you can customize your review, your enhancement, your endorsement. I'm sorry, I get mixing up endorsement and enhancement. But yes, I wanted to say that this is a very good thing, because we are talking about working life skills. And if somebody goes behind you and says that this person really knows what he or she is talking about, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's the way it works in real life. Yes, that's true. And yes, I wanted to make sure that this this thing comes up because we thought that it was one of the best things in badges, and one of the best things that the young people and immigrants told us it was the best thing in this badge family. Yes.
Already, any other questions?
Sorry, I'm speaking all the time, but I had a question about the companies or the work life. What was their response on this? Not on badges, but I mean on the 8 badges that you had. Let's say, yeah,
Yes.
matching with these competencies and so on.
Yes, they were struggling that when people write down applications to get a job, they always say that I can work with other people, I'm independent, I'm creative, and things like that. But in the end, people don't have any proof. They don't have anything to show that they really do have these skills. And they thought, these companies, they thought that this is a very good thing, that now you have something you can base your opinions on, that I'm creative or I'm an independent worker or things like that. So I think that was their main opinion. They thought that, yes, this is finally some sort of tool to make sure that these people are as good as in paper as in real life.
Okay.
And also they said that these badges were easy because you can send them by link, and it was really easy. You didn't have to open any Microsoft documents. You just received a link, and everything was there.
Yeah. Did you see yet some badges on the passport? Or?
Yes, I can see some. Yes, some are mine for testing. Testing, but I'm sorry, I cannot seem to. Or do you want to see them? Did you mean that?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just a question to see that, I would say, badge in action, that how much people have started to get these badges and so, because I'm very interested myself. I mean, it would be interesting to apply for badges. Can you find these badges in Open Badge Passport as a badge application that you could earn? Are you there? Did you?
No, not yet. I'm working on that. It's in my work list, but they're coming there.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the idea, that I will bring them there. But we are still working on the picture. These badges are in action, but I'm not happy with the picture because I think it's too small. So we have to make some adjustments, some updates, and then it's on my list that I will bring them to Open Badge Passport. Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I guess not. So let's see. No. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you a lot, Lotta. That was a very interesting presentation. And we have recorded this and we will put this in our website later this week. So thank you very much, Lotta, and have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.